Steve, going to give us a rundown on it's not been such a bad 2018 for you.
Well, it's just finished really good, hasn't it, with the
massive high,
the win of Josh Warrington. But I've just made some notes, and obviously I've got a lot of fighters, and so we can't mention them all. But it's been up and down, as boxing always is. You know, the good and the bad. But I think we've had more good than bad, and I know we're going to speak in a few more days about 2019, what we've got planned for shows and what we've got planned for the lads. So there's a few that we won't speak about here, but you know, obviously Josh was the highlight, wasn't it? I mean, the great performance against Lee Selby at Ellen Road, which you probably thought couldn't be bettered, and then he's just beat Carl Frampton in a fantastic fight, which
I think didn't Frank Warren say to you that's been the best fight he's been ringside at?
Yeah, he said it's the best fight he's ever seen in his lifetime. You know, which is some statement, as you say. Frank,
I think only time will tell.
A few, time will tell. I mean, it was certainly a good fight. I mean, I thought Josh was in front just a little edge. Well, most of the rounds. He obviously lost a few of the rounds, but
I thought the scorecards were fair, weren't they?
Looking back,
116, 112 was about right.
Looking back, you know, it was a great fight, and there was some great things from Carl and a lot of great things from Josh, and they're both special fighters and special people as well. And as I say, and the way to talk about it too much because there's other things to talk about, but you know, like you say. Total respect before, during and after the fight, and that's the way
nice to see that in this day and age, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know, too many times there's a lot of fakeness about things, and there's nothing fake about them two, was there?
No. And as I say, that was the highlight. You know, looking back again, a couple of losses for Terry Flanagan, who was the world champion going into the 2018. So. He vacated his lightweight to challenge for the light welter against Hooker and lost the split decision at home. The English judge swaying it to the Yankee. Wasn't a great performance of Terry, but he possibly could have won that, and he would have won it. Where we'd have gone on to, we don't know. I mean, we was left then with an opportunity to go in as a like late replacement for the WBS series when Hooker didn't go in it, and he just got the short end of the straw, having to go over to New Orleans and fight Riga's Progress, who adapted really well, and it was another hard night for Terry Flanagan. So there's a bit of a downer that
I think the scorecards were a little bit harsh on him though.
Yeah, but
fairly even fight after 6.
It was just one of those nights. The kid was just a bit too good for Terry, and you know, Terry had trained well, prepared well, and he just didn't fight how we expected him. We thought he was going to come out and try and blow Terry away. And,
we thought he was just a puncher, but he had a bit more to him than that, didn't he?
He did, and he didn't work with Terry. So that was a big disappointment for me. You know, I'd love to have finished the year with two world champions, but it's not to be. And now we've got to work hard in 2019 and get Terry back. And he's already in the gym. What is
his plans? Is it going to be lightweight?
Really and truthfully, he struggled at lightweight because he had an injury to his foot which was stopping him running. So that's all healed up now with time, and so he's going to take whatever opportunity comes up first. He wants to fight again for the world title. If it's at lightweight, it's at lightweight. If it's at light welter, we'll have another crack at that. So we'll have to see what happens. But you know, on a positive thing from that, as I say, we're going with the ups and the downs of the year. A positive thing was, you know, we had a trip over to New Orleans. When I started doing the boxing with just a few 4 and 6 rounders on at the Willows in Salford, I couldn't imagine myself going over to New Orleans with a fighter, and the week before I'd been over to Boston with Tommy Carl, who was fighting and won in America. So you know, 2 trips to the States in 10 days. Were you talking
about him in the new year?
No, we'll mention Tommy in there, because as I say, it's part of the journey. You know, like it's great to say, you know, from where we started, that within the space of 10 days I've got to America twice, watching me lads fight over there in meaningful fights, and it's great to think that we've got to that level, and hopefully 2019 there'll be a few more away trips. But you know, from Tommy Carl's point of view, you know, he won a meaningful title by beating Masha, one of our lads, for the Commonwealth, which I know meant a lot to him. Yeah. And then, like Eddie's, took him over to America, and he was in a good fight against the hometown kid in Boston. And the talk for Tommy, which again we'll mention next time, is to go back over there again and then move on and maybe possible get to fight Hooker for the world title. But ups and downs, I say that was great. The night in New Orleans with Terry losing, back home we had Ryan Doyle losing the Commonwealth title. You know,
but you've got to remember that he won it first against being a massive underdog, wasn't he, when he won it?
And I was going to say one of the ups of the year was Doyle winning that one, and then he went and lost it when I was away. I mean, I've since found out that he was proper ill that day. He'd been sick 3 times on the actual day, so maybe if I was back there we wouldn't have had the fight, but you know, I can't blame anyone because he didn't tell anybody, you know what I mean. It was me who actually ended up telling the trainer that he'd been sick. He didn't know. So I think there's a lesson learned there for everybody. And the same night, you know, Luke Blackled's lost to a journeyman, so it wasn't a good night for me. We'd had
very good
nights,
journeyman,
yeah. So obviously Masha, I mean, from the rise he's had, the fall's just been a little bit quicker than the rise up there. You know, he obviously lost to Tommy, then he took a hastily arranged challenge to Cardina, and he redeemed himself in that one because he went the full distance and never looked in any trouble.
Cardina had never been past 4 rounds before that, so he was the first man to take the distance and ask questions.
Yeah, and then he's just had a little loss to another good journeyman, Masha. So you know, next year we'll be talking about how we're going to build him back there. I mean, that's another low. Bob Jassie's had a terrible year of injuries and opportunities, and the medical's not going through, but we managed to get him a win at the last show of the season on Jolly Boys, and he looked good. So obviously former British and Commonwealth champion, never lost in the ring, fought for the world title. He's going to come back next year and hopefully win us a title. Another low, Zelfa Barrett. You know, he was one to watch, and he lost against Ronnie Clark. Another thing that we've learned about, you know, taking a change of opponent last minute, stepping up from a 6-rounder to a 12-rounder, taking on a southpaw. He didn't get much southpaw sparring. You know, it was a fight we was talking that maybe we'll do, we noticed, but ended up doing it. So no excuses, but Zelfa's one that I'm looking forward to proving a few people wrong, because he's got some doubters now, and it'll be good. It'll make the victory and the titles sweeter when he becomes a champion again. Dale Coyne's
what about his stablemate who fought on Josh's show, Lyndon?
Lyndon, yeah, we've got Lyndon down here.
Oh right, sorry.
Yeah. Dale Coyne's got to 14 and had some great performances this year, and then suddenly he's not in the gym, so we've had some eyes with Dale really thinking he was going to step on and kick in, and then he's out of the gym, which is disappointment.
Have you spoke to him about that? Do you know what's happening?
No, I think that's a time issue. We're just going to see what happens. Yeah. Chad Flatley, I mean, he was probably in one, if not the fight of the year with Troy Williamson last minute. Not last minute, he was a fight we took on short notice. Chap was on the show. He'd lost to Troy in the ABA finals when he was amateurs, and he ended up not getting on till after the cameras had shut down and no one got ready to see it. 1 o'clock in the morning, all the chairs being moved. Shame really, because everyone knew what a good fight it was. Troy put him over a couple of times in the first round. You couldn't see a way back, but he dug back and got a draw out of that where there looked no way back for him, you know, and what a fight that was. And since then he's had a couple of wins and weighed 11 stone for his last fight, so he's down to like middleweight, and again next year we're going to find out about him. So positive for Jack. Mason Cartwright, who's joined us, and the first fight we looked like we got him a WBO title fight out of nowhere, which he was winning against Tetley till he had the bad cut. The bad cut on his lip. Unfortunately, medical clearances on that meant that the fight got cancelled. So you know, it's another when we talk about ups and downs. He was really up because he'd been in the gym training, didn't have any fights, and then all of a sudden his fight was WBO title, which he nearly won in his previous fight, and he was buzzing. Then he doesn't get a chance to fight for it. So you know, he was up and down and down and up for the period of those there. On another positive side, Liam Taylor,
great fight,
come back. Great top of the bill for VIP on one of our small old shows against Tyrone Nurse, who's the only person who beat him, and so we're hoping that he gets in the mix for the British title. You know, let's hope in January when the board looking at mandatory they put Liam out for that. Danny Wright's been fantastic this year, moved on to 10-0, and the problem we had with Danny was that a bit of a medical query which needs clearing up. So the end of the year didn't finish good for Danny, but he was looking fantastic, and you know he's missed out on 2 fights. So he'd have been going into the new year at 12-0 and certainly looking for titles. So let's hope everything gets sorted out with Danny, and then you know he's a top prospect who'll be a champion for VIP. Isaac Lowe, he's gone over to America and won a WBC international, so he was going to fight Ryan Walsh for the British, but his trainer obviously trains Tyson Fury, and he was away in America, so he decided that the best thing for him was to go with him, and Tyson, fair play, helped him out and got him a title fight on it. Yeah,
5th round stoppage.
Yeah, still to see that fight. Apparently he was on Facebook and then it's come off it, so it's something we've got to have a look at. And then you know Tom Farrell's come back and had a couple of wins, and you know he's fighting for titles early in the new year, which will be announced very soon. Jack Cullen, he's been looking great, and next year will be a big year for him. Then on the VIP shows, cracking fight for Steve Brogan, won the Central Area title.
Against Brad Botham, wasn't it?
Against Brad Botham, Belton show. Then we had Colin Day against Tom McGuinness, 2 of our own kids in a great fight. Should have had Adam Ridge v Joe Eco on the Jolly Boys, but that wasn't to be, so that'll be 2019, so that's something to look forward to. The
venue going to continue, try and match, you know, some of our fighters?
Yeah, I am. He's got to do that to work for everybody, and you know what I've told all the lads, and it's a question over the period of the next few days. I'm going to sit down and try and get a few made, and hopefully when we come back in a few days to talk about 2019, we'll be able to announce a few of those there. I mean, Luke Willis has been a positive, he's looked really sharp, and again, he'll be pushing. So there's quite a lot that we'll be pushing for titles next year, and we'll talk about them. But we've had some really good prospects, you know, like Adam Farrell, who's an ABA champion, Matthew Rennie, a top fighter. They've made their debuts, and so I'm looking forward to developing them next year, along with like Sir Jay Farrell, Carl Lamotti, Brad Ray, Jack Kilgannon, Jack Rafferty, Nathan Bennett, Kane Garner, Andrew Ridge, Andrew Fleming, all around 5, 6, 7, 8 and 0. So some of them will just still be on the development, but by the end of 2019, half of what I've just mentioned there, they'll be looking at like English titles, because they'll be 10, 11, 12 and 0 and ready to go. So the next year is really looking positive, and when you come back, I think you'll be excited all the things that we want to do. So
there's no rest for you, even though we've no shows.
Well, I'm in here now planning on my engineering lads when we're working, so Christmas Eve we're in here. I'm definitely not coming in Christmas Day. We're at Man United, who's back on Boxing Day. I'm having a drink with Jamie Moore. We've not seen much of each other because I've been barred from the gym. Well, that's all over now. The only thing I'll say is that tracksuit that they was all wearing for 3 days with Carl Frampton, I'm banning that tracksuit from the gym. It was awful. It was awful. Yeah. So I mean, the Jolly Boys was flying again this year, and the Scouts ones picked up. So yeah, 2018 is more positive than lows, although a few lows, but you get that in boxing. 2019, just looking at this now, even though I'm wanting to calm down a little bit on the boxing, I'm buzzing for it again now. So there's so many positives for 2019 that, you know, I'll be working over the next week, making sure that we start with some great shows and some great fights, and that our lads start moving. And obviously let's hope Josh Warrington can go on and unify the titles, because it'd be great, that.
Well, will that be something you'll be talking about in the next one?
Yes, we look forward to that one.
Alright, Steve. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Lee.
Bye-bye.
Bye.